All righty. Here we are, team. We got another episode of the podcast coming in. So let's get stuck into this. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning, team. What is going on? I hope you guys are having a marvelous start to your morning. We're going to be kicking off this episode very soon. And so I hope you're having a bloody beautiful day, guys. We're going to be kicking start in 14 ways to help you not self-sabotage this weekend. So if you're coming into this one live, guys, you know the drill. Get down there. Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, if you do watch this on replay, please hashtag and let us know that you're here. You simply get down there and hashtag replay in the comments, and we give you the value. So what is going on, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope the weekend has started beautifully. Of course, the weekend starts on a Friday, doesn't it? Which is always very nice for everyone. Hey, Jules, how are you, honey? I hope you're having a beautiful start to the weekend. Laurie, brother, you don't need to hashtag replay, dude. We are here live. And we're going to be kicking start this one in 1 minute, team. We're going to be talking about the weekend and how to not fuck things up, but still have a really good time. So what do you guys got going on? I hope the weekend has started well for you. I hope you got some beautiful plans and you're ready to rock and roll. I am with my beautiful little son all weekend. Cordy has gone away for the next 10 days. And so we got a boys weekend, which is going to be amazing, but I can't wait. So anyway, guys, if you're coming into this one live, I'll say it one more time. You can hashtag in the comments replay, or of course you can catch up later on. Hello, Lapo. Lovely to see you here, mate, coming in on the profile. It's so hard to be across everything because Facebook just does a very good job of just throwing everything everywhere. But nonetheless, we are going to rip into this one. I'm going to bring the crew in on Instagram as well. Going to tomorrow to see my brand new grandson. Woohoo! That's going to be amazing. Good on you, Jules. Sounds like fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, I think we are ready to rock and roll, guys. Let's get this started, shall we? On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. This is the podcast that you come to when you are sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. And in today's episode, we're going to do a quick fire episode, and we're going to be talking about how to not fuck up your weekends. How many of us know that the weekend is where we just shit our pants, right? We're on a fitness journey and we're going along so well. And Monday to Thursday, we're tight in our calories. We're super exercising. And then, of course, the weekend hits and it all goes to shit. I know that feeling, all right? It's something about the weekends, right? We've worked hard all week. We feel like we get to the weekend and we deserve, I guess, a little bit of a reward. So what I want to cover in this is a pretty short video, but I'm just going to go quick fire on 14 mindsets or behaviors that you could use this weekend. And I'm saving this for a Friday, obviously, so that you can put these into place this weekend and come out the other weekend and be not feeling like, oh, I did it again. I just fucked it up. Okay. So if that's you, listen up. Hopefully you can take out just 1 or 2 of these mindsets. They don't need to be crazy, over the top, hard, difficult things. What I'm about to talk to you here about is some very simple ideas that you can put in place this weekend. So number 1, we're going to start the weekend with a weekend mindset check. What the hell does that mean? That means you just simply ask yourself, maybe as soon as you finish listening to this podcast episode, you ask yourself, what does a successful weekend look like for me? Now, the reason I think this is a good question is because when I used to drink a lot, I would say to myself on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, I would say, I'm not drinking this weekend. And then what would happen is I'd get to Sunday and I've drunk a ton, and I wake up Monday morning and I go, oh, fuck, I did it again. So ask yourself the question before the weekend is coming. So most of us, it's the middle of the day for us at the moment. So ask yourself, what does a successful weekend actually look like? If you were to step back, what does a successful weekend look like? Number one. Number two, I want you to, today on a Friday, have a 5-minute moment where you create a game plan. So when a lot of people have an idea about what a goal is, they don't go to the next step and actually do a game plan. So look in your fridge. If you're going to eat at home, but you got nothing in your fridge, then that's a pretty shitty game plan. For example, I know right now that I have exactly nothing in my fridge because I ate it all through the week. So what is my game plan going into this afternoon? Am I going to order takeaway? Is it going to be healthy? Am I going to be skipping meals, which isn't going to do anything for my protein intake? You need to be thinking, right, over the course of the weekend, I'm going to go for dinner on Saturday night and I'm going to have an easy breakfast on Sunday, or however the plan looks like for you. So rather than just winging it, have a plan going into it. Number 3 is a weekend a treat strategy. I think this is a really, really good idea. People think they need cheat meals and cheat days. That's not how it needs to be. If you're on a healthy journey where you're in balance, you can include some indulgences. You just need to be able to factor them in. So what you do is you say, okay, where am I going to go a little bit heavier on my calories? Where am I going to go a bit lighter? Think of it like a budget. Okay, you come into the weekend and you're going to go, I'm going to spend my calories at this meal and at this time with these people. And I'm going to save my budget at these areas here. So these are flowing into each other. Having a mindset check going into the weekend, having a plan going into the weekend, and then inserting your treats where you want them to be. Make sense? Okay, next. Set boundaries, not rules. I think this is a really great idea. You see, what a lot of people do is they say, I'm not drinking this weekend. And then as soon as they have one drink, what do? They go, oh, fuck it. And they just throw it all out the window. Okay? What if it's not so all or nothing? What if you say, my boundaries this weekend are going to be half a bottle of wine on Saturday night? You give yourself the little bit of a treat, but you don't say, I'm not drinking wine at all. Does this make sense? Or maybe it's like, for example, for me, I'm not saying I'm not drinking. Technically, I'm saying I'm going to drink, but it's going to be alcohol-free beers. And I'm going to sit on the couch and drink alcohol-free beers. You might think that's a dumb strategy, but it doesn't matter because I'm not you and you're not me. So the question, what do you do? Just draw the line at a certain, you might go to a barbecue and you might say, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the barbecue, but I'm going to go home at 10 p.m. Simple. Not, I'm going to fucking just see where the night takes me. Because when you have that attitude, that's when you end up in a shit fight. Okay, let's keep going with these. Build a non-food reward into the weekend. If you're like most of our clients, you've been going hard all week, right? You've been going hard all week. So what about give yourself a little bit of a reward? The goal of becoming healthy and fit is to not sterilize your life. Like, would it be actually worth it if your life was just completely boring, but you had a six-pack? That'd be fucking useless. So what we're not trying to do is sterilize our life. So what's a little reward you can give yourself? Maybe it's a spa treatment, or you're going to book a holiday this weekend, or you're going to go and buy yourself something nice, or you're going to spend some time away and get a nanny, or I don't know what it is for you. But how could you reward yourself with something that's not, I worked really hard at work this week, so I'm going to get pissed? Because if you keep rewarding yourself with alcohol, the chances of you being able to stay on track are none. Next up, I want you to do a social environment inspection. Now, this isn't as much about just this weekend. What I want you to do is just notice how being in different environments and different companies shapes what you do. So this is more of just like, have a little bit of awareness. What I'd love you to do is get to the end of the weekend and go, really interesting. When I'm with my family, I'm really quite controlled. I'm on track. But when I'm with the boys, that's when all the shit things go to shit. As an example, because what happens in our life is it's our environment typically that dictates our behavior. This is the secret to Better Body Academy. If you're in Better Body Academy, and here's the reason why it works. Because if you get involved in the environment shapes your behavior. If you don't get involved with the coaches and the Facebook group, you're still trying to do it by yourself. Guess what? It's a fucking struggle. It's a proper struggle. You're just doing what you did to get stuck in the first place. So what I want you to do is have a bit of a think about how the environment's shaping you. Okay, next up, I want you to have this enjoy and then be willing to walk away strategy. Now, I get it, right? We go out to dinner, we spend our hard-earned money on a meal, and we go, I'm going to finish that meal. I don't care if I'm absolutely stuffed. That's kind of crazy, right? Because half the time what we're actually doing, as an example, right, we'll go to a fish, we'll eat some fish and chips, or we'll go to a Chinese restaurant, right? And the food that's left on the table is a fuck tin of rice or a bunch of like fries that have been put on the plate to fill up the plate and make it look full. I don't know about you, but I'm going out for dinner for the steak, or I'm going out for dinner for the fish. I'm going out for dinner for the main part of the meal. The fillers, which is the stuff that's thrown on top of the plate, like the chips or the rice or the pasta or the stuff, I personally, like, it's okay, but I'm not going for that. But I think what a lot of us do is we kind of have it left on our plate. So we're kind of like, well, I got to eat it because I bought it. You don't. You don't. If you go for dinner at, I don't know, the pub, and you get a beautiful steak and some veggies and you're feeling kind of full and you got this big ass like plate of chips left, you don't have to eat them. No one's going to die if you just leave it. Like if you look at it and you think, oh, that's just a bunch of extra calories, just leave it, enjoy it, walk away. Let's go with the booze. Let's talk about sipping the alcohol, don't slam the alcohol. The worst thing that I used to get caught in all the time, because I'm not a quick drinker, is I just get rolled into shouts with the boys, right? And when I got rolled into shouts, okay, so here's the conundrum that I felt. I'd get rolled into shouts, but one of my core values is I pay. I don't sponge off people, right? So what I'd have is this like conundrum where I'm in the shout and I'm way behind, but I don't want one of my mates to like double buy. And so I feel like a tight ass. So I had to just drink more and then that's what happens when you get in shouts, right? So what you instead want to do is say, you know what, like I'm a grown man, grown woman, whatever you are, just do it the way you want to do it rather than getting rolled up in like, oh, I got to drink more, got to drink more, got to drink more. Just chill out. Enjoy your beer. You probably actually enjoy it more. Okay, let's go. Planning an active weekend. So what we tend to do is we focus everything around the food. And cool, because food is a centerpiece of our culture. But why couldn't you, at least maybe for the morning or for the nighttime, why couldn't you plan something around that's not food, that's actually around an active weekend? Like it could be something like going for a hike, or if the weather's warming up for you, we're going to go to the beach and we're going to do a bit of a beach walk while we're there. You can plan things where it's not just food, which is the centerpiece. I'm not saying that's bad. Like for me, food is everything. But you can also plan things around things that aren't food. Like we don't really think about that, right? Okay, let's keep going. The mentality here for this next one is to eat like it's Monday. So what do I mean by that? Well, just because it's Saturday or Sunday, that doesn't mean that all the rules don't apply anymore. And I don't mean rules like, I just mean the rules of calorie balance, hitting your protein targets, essentially. So when we're coming into Saturday, obviously we know that we're probably going to be a little bit looser than through the week. But how can we be a little bit looser, but still make sure we hit our protein target? How can we do that? How can we be a little bit looser on alcohol, for example, but still make sure we don't go crazy over our calorie target? We can do things like back end our calories, do some fasting in the morning. We can offset a big day with a smaller day. We can move the pieces around and still stay on track. Let's keep going. Increase the volume foods so that you're fuller. So what does that mean? A lot of people might think, well, I'm not training on the weekend, so I don't really have to hit my protein target. I don't need to get as many whole foods in. I don't need to get my water intake up. They say things like that to themselves as if the weekend is different to the weekdays. It's not. If we can try to control our hunger and this kind of, just like mindless eating by still applying the same rules that hold us to success through the week, getting our protein up, getting our water intake up, making sure that we have filling meals that are high in protein, doing those things help you to stay on track. Let's keep going. Staying consistent with your water. I think it's worth mentioning that rather a couple of times. Again, I know what it feels like. We have the weekday timeline and then we have the weekend timeline that tends to completely overtake. If you keep your water intake up, you will feel less hunger, more fullness, more energy levels. And so carrying something like a bottle with you when you go to kids' sport is a really smart way to do it. Or maybe you're going for lunch with your friends. Take your water with you. Make sure it's on the table. Just being attentive to these little small things makes all the difference. Okay, I've got two more for you. Number one, what are we up to? 13. Reflect and reset on a Sunday evening. This is such a great strategy. And I actually first heard this strategy from Coach Mike. I don't remember what he called it, but it's essentially coming to a Sunday and just reflecting firstly about what worked from the previous week and setting some very mini goals. I'm talking like tiny goals going into the new week. I think what a lot of us do is we start a new week and we've kind of done it off the back of a brutal weekend. And then we don't set any goals. And then we find ourselves and it's like Tuesday and Wednesday and we've kind of gone into this just the next day. It's just like we haven't changed anything. And then we're like, okay, well, right off the end of that week, we're just in this Groundhog Day and wondering why nothing's changing. When you actually stop and you go, okay, what are my intentions for this week? It might be that you're saying, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days. It might be that so I know I've got that work meet on Friday night. So that's going to be my indulgence night. I'm going to try to have 4 alcohol-free days, Monday to Thursday. I'm going to allow a little indulgence on Friday night. And then Saturday morning before kids' sport, I'm going to use that as my slightly indulgent breakfast. You see what we're doing? We're just not reacting all the time. We're putting some thought into what we're actually doing before we do it. The best time to do this is on a Sunday night or a Sunday afternoon when you just have a little bit of time to kind of get your head around it. Because what ends up happening, it's kind of very similar to people on New Year's Eve. What they do is they don't set the goals going into New Year's Eve or the days before. Instead, they almost like set them the night before when they're pissed up and partying and then wonder why it doesn't stick. Set your goals when you're rested, when you're feeling recharged after a good relaxing weekend, and set yourself up. Your week goes Monday to Sunday, but it starts on the previous Sunday with just a little bit of planning. And the final point that I want to raise for you guys is to ask yourself a simple question. And this question is going to come nicely off the back of the first question that I got you to ask yourself. The first question I got you to ask yourself was, what does a successful weekend look like? So you're asking that at the start of the weekend. Another great question to ask yourself is, how do I want to feel on Monday? How do I want to feel on Monday? Because I think, again, what a lot of us do is we go into the weekend with good intentions, we bash ourselves up accidentally, and then we get to Monday and we say, fuck, I did it again. One of the things that I had to do in my own life personally is just ask myself, shit, like, why do I hate Monday so much? The reason that most people hate Monday so much is because they spent the weekend belting themselves up with booze and shitty food and no exercise and less sleep and wonder why Monday sucks. When you look at it through that frame, I bet it makes a little bit more sense why, for most people, Monday's their most hated day of the week, is because the actions that they're taking going into Monday makes it exactly so. Does this make sense? So, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Hopefully that was helpful and just a little bit of a mindset check going into the weekend. Once again, everything we believe in Better Body Academy is not about being perfect. It's about making sure that we just bring a little bit of conscious thought into what we're doing, as opposed to just like reacting. Oh, I'm fat. I hate myself. That's just not really a great place to be and a great place to live. So, guys, love and appreciate you. If you are listening to this podcast and you haven't yet done so, you can find 351 episodes of this podcast on the Better Body Academy podcast, be it on Spotify, on Apple, Google, Amazon, anywhere you find podcasts, you can find replays there. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, team. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope you guys are having a beautiful start to the day, to the morning, to the evening, whatever you're doing. I'm going to go pick my beautiful little son up shortly, and you will be hearing from myself and Carly live on Instagram doing our daily Q&A very, very shortly. So look forward to catching up with you guys then. Peace.